Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here, and today we're coming to you from Striaton City, where the grass type greens are trying to end their 4-game losing streak, but they have to do it against the Olivine Carbons, and with those 10 resistances, the grass types are going to be struggling to get this done, but they will try their best. Let us know in the comments below who you think will win this matchup. Do you think the grass types can do it, or do you think the Olivine Carbons can continue to make their way up the leaderboard?
3, 2, 1, go!
Now, Steel types have been having an inconsistent season, but they can bring it to the top sides as they start out with Goodra and Tinkaton. It'll be a Bomber Snow and Go-Go starting out for the Striaton Greens, and immediately Tinkaton is going to go for the Spark on the Ice Grass type. It is not very effective though, as Go-Go responds with a super effective Axe Kick onto the Pseudo Legendary, doing massive damage, and a Bomber Snow follows it up by setting up a Misty Terrain. I'm sure Tinkaton will enjoy being in this environment, but Goodra will not want to feel any Fairy type moves as it goes for a Solar Beam. It will be absorbing light on this turn after already taking so much damage. I hope it doesn't get eliminated, but first Tinkaton will go with the Strength Sap from a Bomber Snow. It is going to lower its attack stat there, and it would normally restore its health, but it is already at full strength. As with that Arm Thrust onto Goodra from Go-Go, it is a multi-hit move. It is going to be super effective. It's got 2 if it gets the 3rd, and it is going to get the 3rd. It's taken out the Pseudo Legendary. This is the start that the Striaton Greens needed to bring in this matchup, getting those 3 hits onto Goodra, taking it out of the matchup, getting the early lead, and Bomber Snow is going to follow it up with an Echoed Voice onto Tinkaton, which is not very effective there, as Orthworm is the Pokemon coming out for the Olivine Carbons, and the Crush Claw onto a Bomber Snow from Tinkaton is going to lower a Bomber Snow's defense here. Go-Go, already having such a great match to start off with, goes for the Encore, but unfortunately that will fail as Orthworm goes for its first move of the matchup and sets up a Safeguard. This will protect its side from taking any status conditions whilst that's in effect, as a Bomber Snow with the Psy Strike now onto Orthworm, giving it its first damage, but unfortunately it's not very effective there. Tinkaton responding though with the Mountain Gale onto a Bomber Snow and gets a huge hit. You have to think if it wasn't for that part Ice type, and it would have been eliminated because it would have been super effective there. Orthworm though following up with the Ice Shard, getting the super effective hit there onto Go-Go. A Bomber Snow is going to go with the Fling, trying to throw its Leopard Berry here, and it is going to throw it there at Tinkaton, which does minimal damage. Tinkaton shakes it off and just chows down on that Leopard Berry, restoring its PP. And it is going to go with the Mystical Fire onto Go-Go. Another super effective hit on the Grass type. It's also going to lower the special attack stat there of Go-Go. Is more of a physical hitter as it goes for the Headbutt. Not very effective there onto Orthworm. Orthworm is going to respond though with the Snipe Shot onto Go-Go. Not very effective hit there. And the Aqua Tail being performed by a Bomber Snow onto Tinkaton. Very little damage as that mist does disappear from the battlefield now. And Tinkaton going with the Stomping Tantrum onto Go-Go. Second not very effective hit onto Go-Go in a row. It's still in the match as it goes up high into the sky. It springs up, setting up for a bounce. It should come down the next turn as the Fell Stinger onto a Bomber Snow gets the elimination. That super effective hit from Orthworm does level the playing field here, which is also going to boost Orthworm's attack stat a huge amount as Electrode comes out. It is in its Hisuian form, immediately going for the Mega Drain there onto Orthworm. Tinkaton is going to go with the Minimize. It will boost its evasiveness, see if it can get out of the way of the bounce, if that is who Go-Go comes down on, but no, it goes for Orthworm there. Yet another not very effective hit on the Steel type Pokemon Orthworm, though with the Toxic onto Electrode. This poisoning is going to get worse and worse, having badly poisoned Electrode here. It is the quickest Pokemon in the PokeType League, but it cannot outrun that Toxic. And the Safeguard has worn off for the Olivine Carbons as Electrode is going to go with the Aqua Cutter onto Orthworm. Gets a critical hit there. Clearly not appreciating being poisoned, but the explosion, and Tinkaton has taken itself out of this matchup. It's not very effective on its teammate Orthworm, so Orthworm holds on, Electrode holds on, but Go-Go is taken out with the explosion. Orthworm though is going to go for the Outrage to finish off Electrode, but Electrode has that hidden ability Aftermath, so it will hurt Orthworm. I don't know if Orthworm actually was able to hold on from that, but Electrode's taken out. And Orthworm is eliminated as well. We've practically got a match reset. It is 3 full strength Pokemon against each other now. It will be Scovillain and Toedscruel on the striking greens, and we have Iron Treads and Copperaja on the side of the Olivine Carbons, and immediately a baton pass from Iron Treads, clearly not happy with its place, and it goes back to the bench. But you have Scovillain with that part fire typing that'll be super effective against the steel types, and it goes for the heavy slam as Lucario comes out into Iron Treads' position and gets hit with that not very effective critical hit. And Copperaja going for the Scorching Sands here. Great hit there onto Scovillain. And Toedscruel, remember, has that part ground type, and that'll also be super effective on the steel types. The Lumina Crash, though, not very effective onto Copperaja, but it does lower its special defense a great deal. And there's that Moody ability taking effect for Scovillain, boosting its defense, but lowering its speed here. Lucario now quickest on the field, going for the smoke screen onto Scovillain, lowering its accuracy, making it so it can't hit its targets as it goes for the Hex. And Copperaja will be able to avoid that attack, that smoke screen instantly paying off, and a Vine Whip onto Toedscruel. Great hit there from Copperaja. Toedscruel is going to respond though with the Recycle, and this will fail. Now keep in mind, Iron Treads has that part ground typing too. That could be quite useful against that fire typing of Scovillain. So everyone's got these counters in this matchup, as the bite onto Lucario is not very effective from Scovillain. Lucario is going to respond with the Scale Shot, this multi-hit move. The first one is a critical hit. This will lower the defense of Lucario, but boost its speed. It's got 3. It's got 4. If it gets another critical hit, it should get the elimination, but it doesn't get the critical hit. It did get 5 times, though. That, as I said, though, lowers the defense of Lucario, boosts its speed. Scovillain is an easy target. The Reflect, though, from Copperaja is going to make its side stronger against physical type moves. Toedscruel following it up, though, with the Fire Pledge. This will be super effective, and Lucario is eliminated. The Striking Greens have taken the lead at this crucial point in the matchup. And there's that Moody ability again, this time boosting the special defense of Scovillain, lowering its defense. And Iron Treads is back out on the field, and that Spit Up fails from Scovillain as Iron Treads going with the Bubble Beam, and that will eliminate Scovillain, leveling the playing field. There is now 2 Pokemon on each side. We still don't know who the last Pokemon for the Striking Greens is, but a Solar Blade is being set up by a Copperaja, who starts to absorb that light. And Toedscruel with the Sweet Kiss onto Iron Treads. This is going to leave it confused. You hope it doesn't do any damage to itself. It's always terrible to see, but out comes Brute Bonnet for the Striking Greens. Iron Treads needs to shake off this confusion, try and get in an attack, and it will be successful. It goes for the Razor Leaf, hitting both Toedscruel and Brute Bonnet. Not very effective on Brute Bonnet, but gets the critical hit. Not that it looked like it. Did get the critical hit on Toedscruel as well, though. And Brute Bonnet responding with the Roleplay, but that does fail. This allows Copperaja to finish off that Solar Blade, going for Toedscruel, and Toedscruel is eliminated, capitalizing on that Park Ground type. Did Copperaja getting that elimination. Iron Treads needs to shake off this confusion, go for a strong follow-up. It will be able to go for a Spite. This is going to lower the PP of Brute Bonnet. If it does run out of PP, it will struggle. There's Brute Bonnet going with the Dragon Tail. This is normally sending Copperaja back to the bench, but there's no one to take its place after that not very effective move. So Copperaja stays on the field, goes for the Soft Build, and will restore itself back to full strength. Now, it hadn't taken much damage so far, but Iron Treads has snapped out of its confusion, and it does go with the Magic Powder, but it doesn't affect Brute Bonnet because it is a part Dark type. It's immune to Psychic type moves. Responding with the Speed Swap, going for Copperaja though, so it's actually going to slow its speed. And Copperaja is going to go with the Stomping Tantrum onto Brute Bonnet. Not very effective hit there, as that Reflect does wear off for the Olivine Carbons. And the Hex now being performed by Iron Treads. Not very effective there onto Brute Bonnet. Copperaja looking to follow it up now with the Chloroblast. Not very effective, but there is going to be huge recoil damage for Copperaja from that Chloroblast. This will allow Brute Bonnet to go with the Water Pulse onto Iron Treads. Super effective, capitalizing on that Park Ground typing as Iron Treads responds with the Drill Run. Not very effective, but does get an okay hit there. This will allow Copperaja to follow it up with a super effective U-turn, and the Olivine Carbons have won this back and forth match with that super effective critical hit onto Brute Bonnet. And this will be their 5th victory of the season, but that's the 5th loss in a row for the Striking Greens. And this will keep them in 17th place, whereas the Elevine Carbons move from 8th up to 6th. And next round they will be taking on the Cortondo Dust Mites, whereas the Greens will have to go up against the impressive Heart Home Spectres next round. But until then, Nidorinas, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.